Hi, welcome to X497 final project demo. So now I will be taking the role of our primary project persona, a student from University of Michigan, to introduce a course demo. Now the enrollment day is coming, and I want to search for courses that I'm interested in, and also the course I can do well. You may think Rate My Professor is a good choice to find enough information for a professor, also with decent amount of information about the course. However, Rate My Professor does not provide official information and details for a specific course in the University of Michigan, and it also cannot validate commenter's identity as a student. So basically, our project is a web application that integrates multiple information as well as student comments in our course. So with our website, student can easily find related information such as workload, median grade, and etc. More importantly, they can post comments and give their own rating for the course. With this feature, prospective student can easily gather official information along with some real experience posted by post student to decide whether or not the course is suitable for them. Our long-term motivation is to transform the website as a reference for professors and also GSIs when they try to improve the course experience. So here's our main page of our web application. As you can see, our design focus on the simplicity, and there's only three parts in our main page. Um, there's a home button on the top left hand corner, so anytime you want to return to this home page, you can just click this button. And also there's a button on the top right hand side corner, and we restrict that only students from University of Michigan can sign in and can comment on our web application. And so this is our search bar, and we prompt the information and gives the user hints to type any keywords here, and I can directly type input while selecting course from below. And I want to point out that it is hard to implement these two functionality at the same time because combining these two functionalities is fairly complex. So for now, I want to see all the X courses in the University of Michigan. So I just type X here and click this search button. So in this page, this is our search result page for all the user input, and you can see there's a big table showing all the X courses here. So we use a component from the React called data grid, which is a table displaying information in a grid-like format of rows and columns. So as you can see, the table will present those courses through several constraints, like the code of the course, the name of the course, the credit, the median grade of the course, and the workload and number of reviews. So you can click any of these constraints to sort the course in either descending order or ascending order. For example, if I want to find the lowest credit courses, I can just click the credit button here, and so this functionality will automatically search those courses for you. And when we come to the bottom of the page, if we want to look for more courses, we can just go to next page by clicking the go to next page button here, and you can see we show only 20 courses each time to fit the table and also fit the whole website page.
Hi, I would be glad to introduce you some important features of our projects and what information you can actually retrieve from this website. So let's say if you are interested in course X 497 and you want to select it as the course next semester, you just type it. It is important to notice that you do not need to care about the lowercase or uppercase of the X because it has been manipulated. And you just type it, click it, and search it, and it will just pop up. You click it, and you will just enter the information page of this course. On the top left, it will be the course code and course name. And below that, it will be the rating. Since there are 0 ratings for this course, the star won't light up above it. And the below part would be the workload and median grade module. And on the right side, it will be the details. It will normally show the credits and enforce prerequisite information. It is important to notice that if there's no prerequisite for this course, it will not show up. And below these two squares, it will be a description part. It is just a brief description regarding the course, what would be the topics of it, and what would be the assignment. So the majority of the information will come from the Atlas website, and we do so just to make sure our information is as accurate as possible. And I will going to introduce you one of the most important feature of this page. As you can see that these three squares reside on the center of the browser window. And now we are in the full screen module of our browser, and it looks fine. And it will still reside on the middle of it if I resize the window. Let's see. But now you could see that three squares still perfectly match the window to make sure you have a great view of it. Then we go back. And the rate panel will also has the similar feature. And when you log in, you will be able to rate the course. And as we click it, a panel will show up. And you could see that this panel also resides on the middle of your page. And when it resides the window, it's still perfectly match it. And we do so just to make sure you have better user experience. And then we are going to introduce the rating part.
I'm going to illustrate the functionality of commenting and the rating of our app by using this page of EECS 497. In order to comment or rate a certain course, you need to log in first. You can log in by clicking this button here or this one here. We use Google Login API to support our logging functionality. So you can see here, it's automatically logging into my Michigan account. Now, just in case you log into the wrong account, you can always log out by clicking this icon here and then log out. Now, you can see here we have 0 rating and 0 star. This is because we have nothing here, and I'm going to write the first comment of this course. Let's give it 5 star. Professor Jeff. Grade A. Light workload. Write a review. This is a great course. And then you can submit it by clicking the submit here. You can see our comment shows up here. Star, professor, grade, workload, comment, and timestamp. Let's write another one. 3-star, someone. And anything you write here will be there if you accidentally close this window. It's still here. So if you want to really clear the comment section, instead of just close the whole window to clear everything here, we give you a button as clear here. It will just reset everything to default. Now let's write a real comment, professor, grade B plus, moderate, some review, and submit. It pops here. Now, as you can see, we have 2 ratings now, and the average star is 4 because we have 5 and 3. So this part is just to give our user some feeling of like how many people has come this course and what's the average opinion towards this course. Now, as you can see, we have a red star right beside this rating. This means the rating is mandatory and everything else without this star is optional. If you don't give it anything here, it will just record your comments at 0 rate. I'll just show you if I just directly submit. 0 star. Nothing here except the timestamp. You can also just record the professor name, let's say ABC, without a review. Yeah, it will shows up Professor ABC. What if you just write some review only? Grade 1. Submit, and the bar won't show up here. This bar won't show up. And also, we have functionality of like and dislike for commenting. You can like it, you can dislike it. Just in case that our user accidentally dislikes some comments after they like one, or if they accidentally like a comment after they dislike it, we require our user, if they want to change their opinion towards a certain comment, you need to cancel it first. For example, for this one, you need to click this like again to cancel a like. Then you can dislike, but you cannot just directly change to like. Our app prohibits you from doing that. So this is basically the functionality of commenting and rating of our app.
Hi, my name is Tianshi. I'm from the brute force team. Today I'm going to talk about the technical details and challenges we have faced and how we solved them. To get started, we use React as front-end and Spring Boot as back-end. As for the program language, there are JavaScript and the Java. Then comes the question like, how should we deploy and where to deploy the service? If we want everything to be more convenient to do, like testing and development, we would better to find a way that everyone get the same kind of environment. However, everyone's local machine, they're different. Some use Mac, some use Windows, but there do exist a way which is called like a Docker. We use the container to provide a unified environment so that everyone can have the same environment. Here's the question, like how can we deploy the service? If we will run on the local machine, we need to run the Docker service, which actually consume a lot of memory and CPU time. So we initiate AWS EC2 service, which is a virtualized server. You can do anything on your computer to the EC2 service. So we deploy this kind of service by the Docker image to the EC2. And then it comes to the question like how to store the data, because the project we're working on is heavily relied on data, like the cost details, like the cost number, cost descriptions, that kind of thing. We want to have a reliable and persistent um, storage service for it. So we want to use the KV system, but we will use the database. But how should the database service be hosted? We don't want to be hosted by the local machine, because that that situation everyone got a different version of the data. So the cloud solution that we use the AWS RDS, which is the abbreviation of relational database service, and the database we use is MainSQL. The version is 8.0, which is a it's open source database, so it's no charge for it, but very easy to use. Here comes the second page for the technical details. So the biggest question so far when we get started is that how to deal with the login problem, because we don't want to actually develop a user management system like a user center that provides functionality like user can change password, get a verified email or something. So it's just not we want to focus on. So we come up with the solution with the Google login. So we integrated the system into our front page, and when we get the token which represent the identification of the user, so our backend will ensure that the token refers to this user in the system. So next question is about like the UI UX problem. So if we want to provide a unified performance or experience for a user, we actually doesn't have any restriction for user, like what kind of device they were surfing our web's page. So we adapted the responsible design, we making use of the React components, like provide some grid and column and rows, such kind of thing to have a responsible page. Um, Even if the device is a different resolution, the ratio they're different, they all perform well. There is no problem like the text are out of boundary. Yep. So then comes to a question of detail that deep dive into our the functional we're realizing, like we want to provide a better user performance or experience, like we want to provide suggestion for the searching part. Just imagine that you are using the Google search. When you type something, the system will automatically list all the kind of candidates that the user kind of want to type in or want to search. And so to realize this kind of function, first we need to build a API in our backend, which when you type something into it, the backend API will return the list of the candidates that user might be interested in. And second thing, that how is the front end to interact with the backend API. So it's actually need to kind of invent listener. We need to attach the listener to the event, which is typing event of the text box or search box. So whenever user typing something, it will automatically invoke the backend API and get a list of suggestions and automatically dynamically render the drop-down list or autocomplete kind of thing. So it's really convenient for user to do the searcher. And the last technical detail is kind of like it's a problem of data source. Like since our project is heavily relied on information like cost description, cost number, that kind of stuff, so we developed a Python crawler and based on the beautiful soap, beautiful soup. So um, so it's we no longer need to manually copy and paste data into the database, but we just run the program and automatically collect all the info we need for the system. The next page is about the challenges we have made so far. So as for the management, the biggest problem is that the milestones and such kind of deadlines are really hard to be on time because we meet a lot of problem in development. People need to learn something they're not familiar with, which costs time, and they might have different things, something more urgent to do, and yeah, we spend a lot of time on discussing the technical details mentioned before. So yeah, we need to find a way to deliver our product on time, but ensure the quality and overcome all the challenges so far. So our strategy is that we give more time to the development and focus on the kind of unit test, which is really helpful and efficient, but reduce some kind of time for the other kind of thing like the integration test or something. Um, so another thing which is really helpful to catch up the progress is to we remove some kind of advanced feature like the recommendation, which is original in plan. We originally want to have like a machine learning kind of way to predict what user want to take the next term or something. However, right, due to the time limit, we were not able to do that, but things is okay because the basic functionality is much more important to deliver the product. Yeah. So here comes the last technical challenges. As I as I mentioned before, how to deploy and where to deploy the service is a really big issue, because if you want to make everything automated, for example, you want to push the code to the repo and the testing environment get updated, it will still a lot of stuff to deal with. So there mainly is two gaps. First, where to build the image. You can do it in your local machine, but it's actually consume a lot of computation, right? And also it requires the network kind of stuff. And second gap is that how the host get updated of the Docker image. So I fixed these two problems in two steps. First, I make use of GitHub action, which provides a hook will be triggered after some kind of behavioral is performed. For example, if the developer push a commit to the code repo, the GitHub action will run script And this script I written is will compile and build a Docker image and finish the pushing to the Docker Hub. So the first get finished. You no longer need to build a Docker image on your local machine, but all stuff finished automatically. So second gap is solved by I'm using an open software called Watchtower. It's actually the Go program, and it's published in a Docker image. So I just run the image in a container, and this container will it's automatically check all the currently running Docker service containers to check whether there is a newer version of the image. If so, it will download it and restart the whole service. So we finish all the process in a practical and cheap way, because in the big company they got a whole team to support this kind of DevOps team. However, we work in 5 people, so we to successfully find a way to improve the efficiency of development and testing. So it's so cool. Yeah, thanks all.